evening and thank you for joining us. As we're seeing off the top there with your sports headline, unfortunately CPCA season just started, but not in St. Walburg this weekend.
Yes, that's right. We just want to make sure that everyone out there, if you are thinking about heading to St. Walburg, put the brakes on, because as we know, the track conditions were deemed unsafe as a result of moisture. So CPCA races have been canceled for St. Walburg, as well as all the festivities that the fine folks in St. Walburg put on. The fair, the demolition derby, all canceled, unfortunately.
That is unfortunate. Gerard, give us some good news then, please.
That's a difficult proposition because we're running a risk of frost. For Cold Lake and Environment Canada has issued a frost warning with effect from about 3:25 this afternoon. And as well in the Battleford's area, risk of frost is on for later on this evening. In terms of the good side of it, well, if you were up early this morning, the sun was out very brilliant, I tell you. But anyway, we've come on down to 9 and we're just getting those colder temperatures that we spoke of yesterday. Humidity is steadily climbing at 61%. But again, let's put some good ones in the forecast here. No precipitation, and looked at the hourly forecast. There's no precipitation in the forecast. Let's compare across the region. Those clouds are stretching across the region. Add to that as well some of the grass fires that have smoked out the place, so to speak. Lakeland region sitting at 6 degrees Celsius and the Battleford's 12.
Fires burning in the northern parts of both Alberta and Saskatchewan have caused devastation in some communities and caused others to be completely evacuated. Midwest residents woke up today to a noticeable haze and smoky aroma. Wildfire smoke is nothing new to residents of both provinces, but compared to losing everything or being relocated indefinitely, for the most part, the pall is mainly an inconvenience.
Alberta Environment is and constantly monitoring air quality in and around the region and also all around the province. And air quality in that region right now is currently rated as good. However, obviously visible smoke is prevalent there.
People with respiratory illnesses such as asthma or other breathing health ailments should exercise caution, but there's currently no major health advisories in effect for our area.
Reduce your physical activities outside or reevaluate any activities you were planning to do outside and, steer clear of it.
Alberta Environment rates the air quality as good, but also encourages concerned residents to find out for themselves.
To always monitor the current air quality readings by visiting Alberta Environment's website and clicking on current air quality, and they'll get all the information they need there as well.
Negotiations between Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers continue today. The ongoing struggle between the two sides has resulted in the union opting to conduct a rotational strike, starting in Winnipeg today. Jack Haskins has the full story.
The talks between Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers started months ago. At this point in time, the two groups haven't been able to see eye to eye.
Wednesday night, we compromised on our position and made some improvements to the offer and presented it to the union, and they haven't gotten back to us yet. They decided to take strike action.
As opposed to a nationwide strike, the union opted to halt postal operations in certain cities, starting with Winnipeg.
All this is right now is we're saying, you didn't negotiate for 8 months. Finally, when we gave the 72-hour notice, we saw some movement. Still not enough, but by highlighting one city, the mail can still move. Most people are still getting mail delivery. With
services like electronic billing available, some local residents might not find postal service as pressing as it once was.
I would get my bills by mail all right, yeah. But as far as anything else, I'm not impacted too much.
I'd be lost without it, the postal.
Apparently, progress is being made, but it may be a little while before an agreement is finalized.
Right now the negotiators are meeting. They've continued to meet today. I hope there's moves. Both sides will have to, how negotiations go. It's a give and take. I hope we can get a collective agreement, and I hope that happens fairly quickly.
Unless a deal is made, the next strike will take place in Hamilton, Ontario. Jack Haskins, Newcap News.
Representatives from the Lloydminster and Alberta Association for Community Living are calling their first fundraiser a success after raising just over $80,000. Both groups work in partnership to provide support to individuals and families who have children with mental disabilities. Kathy Lee explains how the organizations have helped some people in the border city.
Each day, 2-year-old Emily Shiner takes a step. She's beating all odds against her for surviving.
To our knowledge, we don't know of any survivors with Emily's condition, and the doctors, from their reports, all of the children have passed away before age 1.
Diagnosed with a rare chromosome disease when she was born, doctors said she wouldn't make it. Making gains every day and now able to walk with assistance, Shiner is thankful for the support of the AACL and LACL.
When you have all these medical professionals telling you different, then you start believing that, right? And so with the AACL, and they're saying, no, like, you believe in your daughter and you know what you want, and they helped us advocate for her.
From young to old, the AACL has also helped David Watchell find a job that has changed his life.
With the job, I can get by now. Before I couldn't. I was on government assistance and stuff, but with the job, I can get by now. And that's the goal, you know, to keep working, you know.
It's through projects and funding that the AACL and LACL are able to help people like the Shiners and Watchell.
We work and we strive to help children and adults with developmental disabilities to have good lives, to have lives that you and I would have in our communities.
And their vision is made even more possible with the success of their first fundraising event.
We filled the room. We had 200 people in attendance, and we raised $81,000 yesterday, with more donations to be coming in the next few days.
Which gives hope to many families and individuals who may need the help of the associations for years to come.
I'm thinking the AACL is going to be there throughout her life, right? In making sure that when she's old enough to move out on her own, they're going to support us with that. And when she's ready to get a job, you know, they're probably going to be there for that too.
Kathy Lee, Newcap News.
Cold Lake residents will be digging deeper into their pockets this year as city taxes are on the rise once again. A 3.2% increase was passed recently by council to help pay for infrastructure upgrades that are in dire need.
Things aren't very good in Cold Lake. We have over $150 million worth of infrastructure projects that got to get done right away, about a $50 to $60 million lagoon. So we have to start addressing our sewage system in Cold Lake within about 2 to 3 years.
Although the increase isn't near the 20 to 30% hike residents have seen in the recent past, officials say the trend needs to stop.
We're up near the top in terms of what a resident pays in municipal taxes. And what we're saying, enough's enough, something's got to change, whether the province is addressing our issue right now and we're just waiting word from them.
Council has also asked the province to rezone the air weapons range so that the tax revenue will go to the city. Aboriginal people have a history rich in culture, and for the second consecutive year, the First Nations communities in the Lakeland have been given the opportunity to share those traditions. As Clayton Brown explains, hundreds of residents around the region passed through the doors of the Energy Centre for this year's cultural showcase.
Music, dance, and art were all part of the second annual First Nations and Métis Cultural Showcase, which kicked off an important month.
June is Aboriginal Culture and Heritage Month, and what a great way to start June by showing the rest of the people in Bonneville, Cold Lake, what the beauty we have in our own backyard.
Visitors were given the chance to experience different Aboriginal traditions. Organizers say it's just an amazing opportunity to work with the public.
I love sharing my culture. I love sharing about the Denisukline. I want other people to know who we are.
We want to share and hope that they're able to learn who we are, where we are, what we have to offer.
Organizers hope through more educational events like this, they can have a positive influence on those attending.
We'll never ever change any of the myths or the labels or those types of things if we don't take an active stand and try to promote ourselves as a people.
The turnout was excellent as 6 communities took part in the event, and everyone involved feels it's a real step forward.
It's huge to show who we are and then to be invited into the community, and that shows progress to me, and that's what this is all about.
Over 2,500 people attended the event. In Cold Lake, Clayton Brown, Newcap News.